Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope your day is off to a wonderful start. Thank you for joining me for the What's Your Edge webinar. This really is, for many people, the missing piece that they need to trump competition. Now, this webinar is from our longer series called Stop Making Peanuts. There are 8 strategy sessions that go into depth about how you can grow your real estate sales. I'll just briefly mention some of the other topics. We may do webinars, and for those of you here in Atlanta, we also offer live sessions. So you're welcome to contact me and get more information about the physical brick and mortar sessions if you're here in the Atlanta metro area. Our other topics include things like the secrets to generating leads with and from sales leaders, how to make this a business and not a hobby by improving your processes, growing your business through social media, 25 ways to rank higher on Google, becoming a negotiating ninja, and creating sales success in any market. So if you have an interest in any of these topics, again, even if you're not local, let me know and we'll definitely do a webinar just so you can get some of this information as well. Well, thank you guys so much again for joining me. If you haven't ever gone to our website, it's www.agentsaroundatlanta.com. Please check it out, get more resources. Not just about this topic, but a lot of things relevant to real estate agents. Let's get started. So if you're with me today, you may have been intrigued by the topic, what's your edge? And the first thing we're going to do is locate where you are on the journey to sales success. I want you to ask yourself all of these questions. Do you feel like what you're doing is not attracting consistent buyers or sellers? Or do you feel like you're spending gobs and gobs of money on marketing and advertising but seeing lackluster results? Have you tried to do with other agents feel like it's the best thing since sliced bread, but yet you don't see that same result, or it just doesn't have the same effect for your business? If so, I think you may be missing one critical piece. It is called a unique selling proposition, or a USP. That's a business school term, but we're going to talk about in this webinar what that really means for us as real estate agents. Now, simply, we can define a USP as what distinguishes you in a crowded market of agents. It's how you stand out. But the key is that this has to be a consistent message that tells others why they should specifically work with you as opposed to the next agent. That's your unique selling proposition. Now, does this mean you never work with clients outside of this guideline that you're going to create today? No, it just means that your dollars and your time that you're spending advertising, marketing, prospecting, and the like are targeted to this so that you can maximize the amount of money you're spending for the maximum results. Here's a quote from one of the LinkedIn co-founders that is very relevant, and it says, "Before dreaming about the future or making plans, you need to articulate what you already have going for you." And that's what entrepreneurs do. So that's what we're going to focus on today. Stay with me and let's just jump right into this. So here are my 3 steps to tapping your USP. And you may feel like, well, how can I really differentiate myself from other agents? Because what I'm selling, my product, housing, it's really not that unique, especially because you may be a part of a MLS service where all agents that subscribe to it can sell this same property. But the key is not so much that your housing product be unique, but your service should be. In other words, when you stop trying to be all things to every buyer and seller and instead define how you can uniquely serve clients and begin to specialize in that, it will become easier for you to trump the competition and become the agent of choice for your area. And that's really what most of us want. We want to be that agent of choice that people flock to when they have a housing need, and this is going to help you get there. So check out this real estate. You know, it's just one of the typical real estate books we see where there are a ton of homes in it. Notice this ad though. They actually said, "For the love of God, will somebody buy this house?" That is someone, obviously, that is very desperate. And the point of this webinar is to get you out of a place of desperation and get you into a place of strategy and sales consistency. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is unique. It's called unique selling proposition, and I am going to tackle each section of this term. So unique. Think about right now, and if you have pen and paper, if you have your tablet, cell phone, take some notes, because I really want you to implement this into your business, because I promise you, you will see a change. So what makes me unique? Answer that question right now. The next thing I have is, what's my disc and how can I leverage it? Now, you may or may not be familiar with personality types, but the disc is one of the more condensed versions to distinguish our personalities. It is so important as real estate agents that we understand our personalities, because this is a personality-driven business. So if you don't understand your personality, that's strike one, because your sales and marketing, your advertising, all the money you're spending on this is not going to be as effective if you don't know who you are. For example, if you're somebody that's the life of the party, then you can do and should be doing things that get you out with the public. So you should be networking. You should go to community events. But if you're someone that's more detailed oriented, then it may be better for you to have a blog, to teach a seminar for home buyers and sellers. There are 4 different DISC personality types, which stands for dominance, influence, steady, and conscientious. We don't have enough time during this webinar to cover this, but this is vital. And if you look in the box, it should be, I think, on the right of your screen, I have a link to our free download of DISC types. It's a short guide. I encourage you to read it, because if you better understand your personality, which is what partially makes you unique, then you can understand what marketing tools will be the best for you and your business. The next question you should ask yourself is, what positive feedback have I gotten from clients? This, if you're a new agent, you might not be able to answer this question. Instead, if you're a new agent, look at your life and say, what positive qualities have people pointed out about me? Another question to ask yourself right now is, what specific reasons have past clients given for selecting me as opposed to other agents? This is going to be your key right here. If you can identify why others have selected you over Johnny Sales a Lot, then you have just potentially found a key that you need to hone and you need to focus more in on. The final question in this section is, what problems have I solved best for my real estate clients? Take all of these answers, and I want you to create one concise sentence with all of these answers, and start the sentence with this phrase, I am different from other agents because, and then list your answers. Make it into a intelligent sentence, though. Don't just throw them together and it doesn't really make sense, because this is to help you. Notice here that Dave Foreman says he's the #1 sales rep in the region according to his mother. Now that's great that our family is supportive of us, and we need that. But I want you to go beyond what your family might say of you, because yes, your family's going to probably be your clients too, but I'm sure you're looking to have a broader market than just your family. So be very objective in answering these questions. Think about clients that maybe you didn't get along with. What was their feedback of you? Because again, negativity sometimes can be the very thing that propels your business and sets it apart from every other agent. Here's a quote that I thought was important for this point, and it says, the golden rule for every businessman is this: put yourself in your customer's place. So again, to everything that I've just said about determining what makes you unique in real estate sales, think about it from the standpoint of the various customers you've had. And again, if you're a new agent, think about it from the standpoint of the interactions you've had. What have people said about you are your strengths? Here is the second part of determining your unique selling proposition so you can create an edge and stand out among so many other agents. It's the selling piece, and obviously this is a very big piece. Go back to your pen and pad if you're using one, or your cell phone or your tablet or laptop. What and to whom am I selling? So many of us do try to be all things to all people, and when you do that, you not only run yourself ragged, but you're not able to create a very distinguished brand. So what and to whom am I selling? First question, ask yourself, with what clients do I naturally befriend and work well with? It could be the boomers, it could be millennials, it could be first-time home buyers, it could be investors, it could be those in the luxury market, it could be military clients. Of course, you want to be mindful of fair housing rules and regulations, but there still may be a certain segment that you gravitate to and they gravitate towards you. The next thing to think about in determining the selling portion is, what local neighborhoods do I know well and like? Now, this is different than the areas that you desire to work in. You should also ask yourself, what areas do I want to be in? Because that may be a more high-end area. But you have to also balance this with the areas that you actually know in and out. You know whoever may be the community leaders, you might know where everything is. Those are actually strengths for you, and that's an opportunity to distinguish yourself among the competition. So just like we did for part one, from all of these questions, take your answers and let's now make one sentence, because this is a way for you to concisely know who you're selling to. So my ideal client is, and fill in the blank with your answers to these questions. Check out this billboard. He says, don't get a divorce, just get a bigger house. So he obviously is targeting very specific clients. He's also targeting more of a luxury market by saying just get something bigger. And that's fine. You don't actually have to do it the way he's done it, but the point is you want to be very specific in who you're trying to reach. Now again, as I said at the start of this webinar, it's not about you saying, oh, well, this person that came to me as a referral or this person that found me online is not a part of my target, so I'm not going to work with them. No, you still work with them. But the point is that where you're spending your dollars, marketing and advertising and prospecting, is very focused on this targeted group of people, group of buyers, sellers that you want to focus on. Here's another quote. It says, you have to pay attention to what people need and what hasn't been done. This is something critical and foundational to creating an edge, especially among real estate agents. Again, real estate agents can be as commonplace as there being one on every corner, but you can, and I'm here to help you distinguish yourself so that you can stand out and grow your sales business even more than what you've already done. Here is the final part of creating your unique selling proposition, and that is the proposition part. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines proposition simply as something such as a plan or offer that is presented to a person or group of people to consider. So now we've found out what made you unique. We found out who you want to sell to. Now, what is your plan to sell to them? Get that pen and paper back out and survey yourself. What of value will I offer to these people? How will I solve their housing problems? Here's another thing that's important for you to think about. What do you like most about the real estate process? Do you enjoy the negotiation part? Do you enjoy touring homes? Do you enjoy creating a listing price that not only will help the seller, but is actually something that can add value to the neighborhood? The part of the process that you like the most should be something that you amplify to people as one of your strengths. The next thing you should think about is, which of my processes work best? What is something that your clients have said, wow, Jimmy, wow, Tammy, I really love that you have a concierge service, or I really love that you give us a guide of all of the restaurants in the area, or I really love that you gave us steps to consider each and every offer that we received on our home. Whatever your processes are that work really well, again, that's a point for you to highlight and make sure people know about it. Another question to ask yourself is, what business opportunities exist from when a client says, I wish X, Y, and Z would have happened during this process? As I said with the last point, this is an opportunity for you to not just look at the good things and the strengths that you have, but also look at maybe some of the areas that you've been critiqued in, and maybe your clients wished they had something during the transaction that you weren't able to provide then, but you can provide going forward. Okay, so again, this is the last part of this proposition. Create your sentence based on all of these answers. So start the sentence with, I plan to meet the housing needs of others by, list your answers to these questions, and you just created a very streamlined proposition. Now check out this picture. Notice his sign writer. It says reduced but not stupid or desperate. Now, of course, that may be a little extreme, and I don't expect anybody else to put that on their lawn sign as a sign writer, but that does say something about his proposition to his sellers. It sounds like he is super dogmatic, and he is what I like to call a negotiating ninja. He's already telling buyers up front, I'm not going to be undercut by you. So whatever your strength is, I want you to do the same thing. It doesn't have to be a sign writer that is almost off-putting, but it's time to clearly identify what your strengths are and the things that your business offers that can be of value to a buyer or seller. Okay. So like I said, we just went through the unique section, the selling section, and the proposition. I want you to take those 3 sentences you just created, smash them together, and make it all one, either paragraph, or if you can even create one sentence out of it. But this streamlined sentence will now become your USP. So it tells people what's unique about you, who you sell to, and what your plan is to get them the best possible value in the market. That was easy, right? Yeah, it was pretty easy to do this. Here's the key though. It's not just that, oh, we've done this one exercise and that's it. it is now time to put this thing to practice in your business. Now, if you're like me, I grew up, as a child of the 80s. If you didn't, but maybe you had children in the 80s, you may remember the G.I. Joe public service announcements. I thought this was so cute, so I've got to show it. It's only a few seconds. It's not that long, but it gets the point across about no.
Especially if you quit trying. Scarlet! You'll never win if you give in. But I just can't do it! Can you ride a bike? Well, sure I can. But could you at first? No, I have to practice for weeks. I think I'm getting the hang of it! That's because you hung in there! Now I know! And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
Yo, Joe. Love them. Used to love that. Bottom line, though, is the message is still important to what they even said in that little clip, that knowing is only half the battle. So now you know how to create your USP. Hopefully you created it while sitting here because, again, it didn't take long. But now it's time to communicate your USP in an irresistible, show-stopping way in everything you do. One of the first things that I would like for you to do, and you won't have time to do it on this call, but do it after we get off, is create a 30-second elevator pitch. So this means if you go to a networking event, you go to a family function, you go anywhere, and it's among people that have not used you as their real estate agent, you've got maybe even a 15-second elevator pitch that shares with people your unique selling proposition. The next thing you'll need to do is examine your website, see what needs to be updated, because again, this message has to be constantly and consistently delivered. Check your deliverables, your lawn signs, your business cards, your flyers. If you have a success book, which we'll talk about that as well in a different webinar, but all of these things that you present to clients need to have a unified message. Also, check your systems. Do you need to check your CRM messages, your auto messages that may go out to people if they visit your website so that you can communicate your USP? What about your social media profiles? Is there something you can change on Facebook or Twitter or Google+? So again, this message is very consistent. If you are running ads or anything that is advertising, promotion of any sort, again, check through all of these things to see how you can make this message consistent. Also, where can you go now that you've defined your clientele? Where can you go to find this specific clientele? What CE classes and conferences and coaching do you need to participate in further to explore and integrate your USP into your business? Again, knowing is only half the battle. I don't want you to leave this webinar and know what your USP is, but never actually implement it so that it can give you an edge and help you to be a sales leader in your area. So that honestly is everything on the USP. Right now, I'm going to just check and see. I guess the time, I didn't want to keep you guys past 1:30, so I'm not going to let's see. I guess I could check and see. Let me check and see if you guys had any questions for me. And okay, well, I don't see any questions, so that's fine. But if you do happen to have any questions beyond this, don't hesitate to email me at info@agentsaroundatlanta.com. Also, if you have something that you need help with that's more than just a quick email question, we also offer complimentary 30-minute one-on-one strategy calls where I can review your website, your marketing materials, and everything else just to help you define your USP and really create a competitive advantage. So hopefully this has been helpful for you, and as I said in the beginning, This is just one of an 8-part series on how to stop making peanuts. Be on the lookout for future webinars, and again, if you're in the Metro Atlanta area, we will be hosting live trainings to discuss all of this. So, once again, thank you so much for joining me today. Visit our website, www.agentsaroundatlanta.com, for more information, resources, and the like, or to just contact me. Here's to your success. Have a wonderful Tuesday afternoon, and I'll see you around.